Hello everybody, my name is He-Man.
I'm Drew Arnett, aka Sexy Daddy.
And this is the BadFellas podcast. We've been gone for some time now. We have not made a podcast in a while. And before, we always called ourselves a Smashcast. Well, we're now the podcast because
we're rebranding.
We are rebranding. Because I don't know about you guys. I love Smash. I play it all the time. I'm wearing a dead t-shirt. It's just like this never happened. And we really enjoyed doing the podcast all the time. But we ran into the problem where we started getting burnt out a little bit of it because we only talked about Smash. But we're people. We have a lot of interests in things we like a lot and things we have pretty passionate about. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to talk about other things. And we only talked exclusively about Smash. Even in our interviews, we asked the same questions and never really mixed things up as much. Mm-hmm. We fell into a formula. We just continued doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. And we never did anything really creatively to challenge ourselves. So this new podcast, reinventing ourselves, revitalizing the Phoenix, rising from the ashes, is going to be a lot different. As you see, we have webcams now. We also will have a lot of fancy visuals. And if I actually did what I planned on doing, there was a badass intro. Just like...
How cool was it, guys? Write in the comments below.
Yeah. Well, do you have anything you'd like to add on that?
Yeah, I agree with everything Wesley was saying. It was getting kind of hard to do it every week, which is why we're not going to try to do it at least bi-weekly. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure. I can spend more time on it, put more work into it. Because we're not necessarily an audio podcast. We're not on any platform where we're audio and based. We're a video podcast. So we're going to have more intricate things going on the videos. When we talk about subjects or things will be popping up while we're talking about it. If I mention Magic the Gathering and mention the new Throne of Eldraine set, we'll have something pop up right here. So there you go, Wesley, for the future. Just
you gotta throw up some examples.
Throw up some examples here. But that's what we plan on doing in the future. We're going to have cuts of us with video and cuts of the games we play, the Smash. So, yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. But time to move in on our first subjects because it's been a while since we've done a podcast. We've had a decent amount of tournaments go on. We're up to 8 now. I'm pretty sure our last one was the 4th one.
The last one, I remember the last one we did was when the second Evansville person won. Was the last podcast we did, because
we had Papa Peace on.
Yeah,
that was the 3rd one. I think it was the 4th podcast we stopped.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I just remember the last time we stopped doing it was when I remember Evansville. They wanted all 3 of them to come on, and we all did a big group interview, but we never got to it.
No, yeah, we hadn't got to that.
And I just remember because it was because they all won something.
Yeah. Sure. Every single month we interviewed all 3 of them,
mm-hmm.
And then it's been 4 months since we've done anything. And really, I've been in a creative stump. I haven't really had any drive to try to create anything lately.
Mm-hmm.
So I have not become out much videos. I've been going through a lot, but we'll go on that later. But first is BadFellas 8, the most recent tournament we had. We did doubles again. We hadn't done doubles in a while. And by the way, glasses is the worst thing ever when you have lighting. Because glare is present.
It looks better now.
Yeah, because I'm kind of turn my head down. Yeah, loud chairs. But BadFellas 8, we done doubles again. We also did Pokemon. Yeah.
Okay, wait.
Funny story about Pokemon.
Give him the spill on Pokemon. Well, let me give the spill on Pokemon.
You give the spill on Pokemon.
So... I had a lot of people recommend a Pokemon tournament, so I was like, alright, that might be popping, let's do it. I got together with Pank and Lindsay, and I heard arguments from both of them, and I was like, alright, I think I know the rule set we should do, because I didn't know anything about Pokemon going into this. And I made the poster, I made the rules, and the rules were recommended to me by Pank and Lindsay. And I edited it a little bit, I made it single elimination so it'd go by fast. Because I assumed a lot of people would be doing it. And we posted the rules, and the comments on that post that was the most poppin' post we've ever had. We had over 80 comments
Yeah, it's crazy. Also, 80 comments, people talking about Pokemon.
Like, and there, some of them were seemed really like upset about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people wanting the Smoggins rules or the video game whatever rules.
Yeah, it was Smoggin.
Yeah, they're wanting the Smoggin rule set essentially, and there's a lot of people that was like wanting Smoggin, and there was some people that wasn't wanting Smoggin. And that big old war broke out in the comment section.
And then there's some people that are just like, wait, why is there no legendaries?
Like, why is there no legendaries? Why is there no busted stuff? Like,
there was just people that were just like goofing, like, this post is blowing up.
Yeah, even the librarian got in and posted some memes. Like,
yeah.
It's too much.
Yo, I mean, come on, guys. Why is there no comments about the beautiful art? I thought that one turned out good.
So after all of that happened, I said I was going to come up with a rule set that would make everyone happy. So I sat down, looking up at all the rule sets, looking at every single possible rule set, looking at like anything I need to adapt and try to bring into our own thing.
Yeah.
And I was trying to make it so the people that like Smoggin will be happy, the people that don't like Smoggin will be happy, and the more casual crowd and everybody will be happy. Everyone can be happy. Everyone will be happy, love and family. And not that many people commented on it whenever I posted a new rule set. There's only 2 people that showed up at the tournament and played Pokemon. Yeah, grand finals, here we go! Time to start singles for Smash.
Can you believe that? Like, there was so much hubbub about the tournament, and 2 people showed up. To be fair, a bunch of the people that were going to enter into it weren't able to make it, like me, Timothy, Pank, Lindsay. They all weren't able to show up to it. But
yeah,
like,
it was just like all last minute.
I just can't believe, like, I thought people that don't go to the Smash thing would come just for Pokemon.
Yeah.
But no, it was completely dead.
Because we had like 4 or 5 people in the comment section that don't really comment on anything we post or anything we talk about Smash or even Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of surprising. We heard other people talk about Pokemon. So it was like, we thought at least we would get them.
I was anticipating a lot of people, but no, it was nothing.
Yeah, we didn't get as many as we thought. And I thought it was really funny because it was just Brad.
Straight to grand
and
finals.
Eyebrows. Like them 2. And they just like, all right, grand finals, here we go.
Yeah, and I'm surprised because there were some people there that like had played Pokemon and like could have entered in the tournament, but I'm wondering if like maybe like all the discourse around the rule set maybe deterred people from wanting to enter in the tournament, maybe because it was like confusing or like they didn't know what was going on.
I don't have no
Hey,
idea.
we'll have to redo it when Sun and or Sword and Shield comes out.
Sword and Shield all the way. Like, we're gonna have to see if there's like a competitive rule set. Is this Smoggin? It's like, that's like the official rule set that Nintendo release.
Yeah.
Like, we get that, and that's perfect. We're gonna run with that.
Well, I don't know, man. Nintendo might come up with some dumb rules. Like, have you ever watched their Nintendo Smash tournaments with like
the items? Oh yeah, that's
Smash.
awful. Dude, no.
But like they invite competitive Smash players to go to it. It's like, are you even like watching what the people you're hiring to go to the tournaments are?
It's like, for real. Like, do you understand the content and stuff they produce? Like, and like what they... I just realized my phone's been on. Yeah, do you like realize the content and stuff they produce and like the level they play? Do you think they're gonna play with items? Like, do you think they're gonna take this seriously at all?
I mean, I feel like items can be fun. I've never been to a items tournament, but I'm sure it's...
I never want to be in an items tournament.
Yeah.
My luck is like the worst. Every single time like items would like spawn in like
it's
crate or
basically
something,
like
I'll blow up instantly. Like,
it's basically just like stage control. Like, who has better stage control? It's pretty much it. Because if you have stage control, you can like nab all the good items.
Yeah, and make sure to like constantly toss items at people and like just constantly.
I love like tossing items like the sword and it just like or the bat and just like...
My favorite thing is catching the item when it's tossed at you because it looks so cool. Like when someone's playing Snake and they're tossing grenades at you, you start catching all the grenades. But yeah, so doubles. This is the first time we've done doubles since our second tournament. So at BadFellas 2, which is actually like 1.2. We didn't just know what we wanted to call everything yet because we're still really new. This was what we originally were called, Smash Nation. And then this tournament didn't launch, And then like a week or two before the tournament, I just came up with BadFellas.
Which is a lot better than Smash.
Yeah, at least we have a name. It's more identifiable and easier to remember. But doubles. So my doubles partner I had last time was Drajashi Apache. He showed up, but he wasn't going to be able to stay the whole entire time. So I needed a new doubles partner. Well, since Pank didn't show up and his doubles partner was free, Blizz and I teamed up. And we went through we went through all of it.
In case you don't know, Blizz is like the third, like top 3 in our area for sure.
Yeah, he's up there for sure. So I managed to secure him. And I was like worried the whole entire time. I'm gonna be holding him back the whole entire time. I'm gonna be like constantly like taking stocks from him and like just messing up and just like ruining everything, and obviously being the weakest link on the team, like by like miles and miles. But we made it to the grand finals together. We only lost to Xenoshinx. I remember we had him on like one of our first podcasts, and we won second. It was like, well, yeah, he got some feature in Smash. Well, he's like took the last tournament, BadFellas 7. He took this tournament, BadFellas 8 singles, and then in doubles, his and his brother took it.
No way, really?
Yeah, they took first.
Yo,
Yeah.
we gotta figure out what that kid's doing.
By the way, he has only lost one game through all the singles and doubles in this tournament, and that was because Blizz and I took it. Just like it was disgusting. We almost took another game too.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was absolutely nuts. But the first round, we is my team, Blizz and I, versus Tyler and his cousin. I think his cousin Riska, and we took the first game. Tyler took the next game. We took the next game, and then afterwards, Tyler's like, instead of playing Wario, like he's been playing Wario, switches to Bowser, and he gets the next 2 games. Like his Bowser was just wrecking us. Like we didn't know what to do really. And then, like we were knocked down to losers. We knocked the losers over like first round. We start playing through the losers. We end up going up against a team where they're playing double Ness, double PK Fire. That's like their whole gimmick. Well, every single game we would talk about it. Like first game we played Wolf. I played Wolf and he played Kirby, which is our mains. And it wasn't working out too well. It's like, you know what? Let's switch this up a little bit. Then I switched to Rob, and he switched to I think I'm trying to remember who he switched to. He switches I think like Palutena or something like that, and we just managed to like get the game. And like Rob was like the main defining factor. Like I took out 4 stocks with Rob, and like with his up airs, like juggling Nesses. And that was like, it was so cool because I've never played like Rob in a tournament ever. I've never played like half the characters I played during doubles. I've never played ever in tournaments. I played Young Link the next game, and Young Link juggling Ness's up airs is really good if you didn't know, because Ness has a slow fall speed, and Young Link has a fast up air, and you can just juggle people. It was so satisfying. We managed to come back. By the way, we done all of this, all the doubles as best of 5s. Because we had the time. Yeah, I was going to say,
you forgot to mention
all best of 5s.
Because Pokemon, as you know, 2
people showed up. We had them built in like a million years.
I mean, we have like, 8 hours to do everything?
Yeah. So we need something to kill time. And I'm glad we did it. But every single time we would finish a game, we would go into another game instantly. And every single game after our first ones against Tyler, we swapped characters like every game. We didn't play the same character every game, which is so great. And then we fought Tyler again. And as a joke, I picked out me Gunner, Sans. And by the way, falling up air against Bowser's, like when he's doing his down B or down air, is just the most craziest thing. Because he'll just try to, all he does is fall, and it beats it. Like it beats it every time, just because the hitbox is ridiculous on the up air. Just like his hitbox is ridiculous on his side smash, because it just hits out for like half the stage and it's multi-hit, and it still does like 20 damage, like no matter what part of it hits you. And it's just so wild that like Me Gunner did so good. Like I think people really sleep on Me Gunner. I've been playing Me Gunner jokingly with you during these podcasts since the beginning, and I thought it was just fun, like reminiscent of it, like that I pulled up Me Gunner and actually worked in tournament.
Me Gunner is actually the only character in Smash Ultimate that I have never played ever. But when they came out with the Sans thing, of course I played him.
Yeah, you had to play Sans.
But how crazy is that?
Yeah, it's crazy. And then we went up against Xenoshinx and Neospawn, and we got game 1. And then they were like, oh wow, they got a game off. And then they took the next 3. Just like I tried Wii Fit, tried Wolf. We both did Sword Boys one time, Roy and Lucina, and it was a close game. We also did Banjo and Kirby, and they did Banjo and Kirby because they had the games. Because we had to do.
So they were just freaking styling on.
They were styling on us.
That's crazy. Jeremy's so good.
Yeah.
I wonder how Jeremy and the Xenoshinx matches go. You don't really see them fight a lot.
Well, I'll tell you how it went. Xeno got a 3-0. He didn't drop a game in singles. Like
crazy.
I have to go back and look at it because I was in the middle of playing some friendlies and stuff during that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to go back and look at that. But BadFellas 8 was a success, I feel. Everyone had a lot of good fun. We didn't have any crazy controller throwing maniacs or anything. We hadn't had anything insane happen. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't go to it. I was at the Spoon Festival in Berea, Kentucky. And I got to try spoon bread for the first time. And that stuff tastes like, it's like an egg with the texture of bread. So it was very nasty, at least to me. And it's just crazy. They had this whole big festival that had like tons of people for this stupid bread that doesn't even taste good. And they had like jewelry, but none of it was like looked good at all. Like some of it looked like, ooh, I don't want to stick that in my ear.
Spoon bread. What kind of thing is that?
I'm not sure why it's called spoon bread, but I guess because maybe you gotta eat it with a spoon. But like, it was really nasty. And I've had stinky cheese. That's
wasn't it like a music festival too, sort of thing?
Kinda. There was music there, but it wasn't like a focus of it at all.
Did someone play like a spoon guitar?
That would be so. Thing?
Like, I don't know. I'm just thinking it'd be cool. Spoon fest. Like if there's like a giant spoon, the guy was playing with like the guitar or something.
Instead of a guitar pick, it's a spoon. No, we didn't stay that long. Like the whole reason I went down there was for the Spoon Festival, and we didn't even stay there that long. There was only like one artist that I thought was like really cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, news. We have the next BadFellas tournament coming up, and it should be out before, but it's the Pride. We have a Pride rally going on here in Madisonville, October 26th, and we're going to be hosting a Smash tournament there. We were invited after certain messages talked about a preacher. There's a lot of drama that's happened on BadFellas recently.
Right? Not recently, like always.
It's like always. Like back in May, I think it was. We had a crazy preacher from Pray and Play, like
from Owensboro, Kentucky.
From Owensboro, like it was the Owensboro like Smash Air crew, and he was just preaching so much hate and everything.
Well, like it was like chill. It was like, oh, it's like a Smash tournament in a church. I'm down with this. I'm down to agree with this. But the things he was saying was like not like based on religion. It was just based on like him hating like brown people and gay people. It was crazy.
He said the most craziest.
He said some crazy
things.
stuff.
Like he said, all atheists started all wars, and that all gay people are going to hell. All Muslims are killers, essentially, and also said that all Christians. Oh no! All Christians are impressed. Like there's like said so many different crazy things.
The thing that was like the most like creepy was that he said he went to a Pride festival and he was like, they're so mean to me, and gay people are so mean. But like, can you imagine going to like a Pride thing and then there's like a guy preaching like all this negative stuff? Yeah. Like, of course they'd be mean. I feel bad for like all the gay people that had to like deal with him at that event. That must have been crazy.
Yeah. And then that guy, after a couple people left, ended up like smiling the fact that he made people leave. Like, even his wife was saying, like, oh, I told you you're going to alienate people. And he was, like, happy that the people's leaving.
That stinks. I mean,
he even sent messages to somebody, to a good friend, and he was, like, preaching hate, like, just yelling at him. And I posted it on the Facebook and talked about it because I don't ever want to see anybody like that show up, like, ever to one of my tournaments, because I almost wanted to murder the guy right in front of me. Like, he's saying some of the most hateful things I've ever heard in my life. And I took everything in my power just not to do anything there.
He was crazy. Yeah. And, like, his scene is already so small. I'm not sure why he would want to alienate people.
Yeah. But after that, I ended up getting contacted by the organizer for the Pride rally, and they ended up asking me if I wanted to host a Smash tournament there. I'm like, sure, let's do it. Yeah.
Right? Isn't that a great, like such a happy thing to happen from something that was, like, so lame?
Yeah, like, we made something negative, we tried to do something positive with it, and then rewards for being positive. Like, positivity is really important to have.
And I'll be there selling some of my art stuff.
Oh, yeah. His booth will be right next to my booth.
Yeah, so don't try to buy stuff if I'm in the middle of a match.
Yeah.
And there's also going to be a prize. We can't say what it is.
No.
We can't allude to anything
can't discuss
what
the prize
could
yet.
Possibly be.
No, you can't know.
All we can say is it's going to be epic. And I really hope whoever wins enjoys this amazing prize.
It's going to be a great prize. We also have a lot of plans for things like this podcast. Like, we updated it a lot, doing a lot of crazy things with it. But we also have other plans as far as more content to produce.
And, like, personal stuff too. Like, this year I started a project where I do a caricature of myself every single day. That's been crazy.
How many have you done so far?
35, I think.
35.
I started it on August 19th.
That was your 22nd birthday.
That's my favorite number.
Yeah, you've been doing it pretty consistently. And I would sometimes stop by your work and see you draw on it and working on it. And it's really cool doing your process.
It's really fun.
Like, I'm always interested in see what you're going to draw next. I always love your art. It's always so lively and creative. And, like, I always like seeing your posters when you make them. Because it's like, what's next is he going to make? It's like going on YouTube and seeing the content creators I always like and going to check out their newest videos. Like, that's how it is with seeing your art, honestly.
That's so nice.
I always like your art.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But I'm trying to work on some projects myself. We have some stuff in the works we're trying to work on, possibly a talk show thing. I don't know. Wink, wink. Can't really wink with glare all over my whole entire eyes. Just like, you can't see the wink.
Gotta get contacts.
Get contacts? I can't stand contacts.
Why?
I can't touch my eye. Like, I'll freak out.
Really?
Like, I can't touch my eyeball. It just
freaks you out.
Like, it's weird. Contacts? I tried contacts. It's just, I don't like them. I can't stand them. I can't touch my eye without, like, my eye, like, freaking out. It's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely, like, something you gotta get used to. Like,
yeah.
If you do wear contacts. Because, like, I'm always worried about getting pink eye. Because that would suck. I mean, I love the color pink, but I don't want it in my eye.
For real. But as far as personal stuff, like, I just recently got out of a relationship. That was pretty tough. I've been dealing with it. Some days is really, really tough. I'm thinking about her a lot. And other days, I thought I'm good. I'm living life.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't help to feel like there's a part of me missing. Because I've done a lot to build it up to where it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, even the room we're in, like, this is an apartment that I had bought for trying to make a home, a place together. So, even in the place I am now, like, I've done a lot to get to the point where I am now. And near the end of the relationship, I'm not going to go in details about it. I don't want to discuss all the personal business of it. There's a lot of stuff to it, a lot of elements. I'm not talking bad about her at all. I'm simply, near the end of it, I was finally getting back in a creative groove that I was lacking. I hadn't released videos in a long time My channel was pretty vacant. Like, I hadn't really done anything with it. Occasionally, I'll release a video that's pretty lazy, didn't have to do anything with it, just because I wanted to try to release something. But I didn't put much effort into it because I just hadn't really felt the creative urges. There used to be times I would write down like song lyrics, like all these rap songs and stuff, because I like rap. I love rap.
It's pretty good too.
I write down these movie scripts ideas and like these different screenplays I can do. But I noticed a trend of the timestamps and when I made them to like now, that I hadn't really done that since the whole entire relationship. I just kind of blanked on even that. I blanked on everything. Like I just had I didn't feel like creating anything anymore. I didn't have the drive to create anything. But now, like near the end of the relationship, I was trying to create more. And I never really had the time to create anything. But now, since I'm single again,
you're that lady.
On the market. I can start working on projects again. I can start working on things again. I would already started working on it because we kind of broke up almost a month ago now. But I've been sick for 2.5 weeks. Gotta love that.
Being sad and sick.
Sad and sick. Dude,
what a great combination.
The worst thing ever?
What?
I'm like the biggest multicaster you'll ever see. I can't just sit still while watching something. I have to like missing my cards, like organize, make a deck or something. And I have to keep my mind constantly going because if not, I feel like I'm not doing anything. And when I've felt so bad lately that I would just sit out in this chair here, like, and just zone out while watching stuff and not move an inch. Just like, and it just feels so bad because it's like, I don't feel like doing anything. I can't move or anything because I just feel so awful. And it's just so anti-me. Like, the way I am, I have to do something. I have to make something. Even if it's just like utilizing my brain to make a Magic deck, which I love Magic the Gathering. It's my favorite card game, hands down. Which just feels like I'm utilizing my brain more. I feel like if you don't use it, you lose it. It's really important. But now, so back to being single. I feel like I can get my creative groove on. I message. Yeah, I message Drew a lot. Even like a lot of the ideas I have, like about the future plans and stuff, like we could possibly do. And I'm trying to like piece together everything. And this is one of the next projects we're working on. Is making this podcast better. So.
You're definitely like a true artist. Like you're always creative and like coming up with like tons of new things and like tons of different things. Like you want to come up with like songs one day, then like a screenplay the next day. Like I admire that a lot.
The problem is like sometimes I can't complete the project. Like I have the ideas for it. I want to work on it. Want to do that. But sometimes I have an idea for another thing. I want to work on that too. I'm just like.
Yeah. It'd be like that.
But the problem, like, you never really complete anything when you do it like that. But sometimes it's hard to work on stuff when you have these other ideas and things you want to work on. Like, for example, that screenplay and the music and everything. Because, like, if you look at the timestamps on it even, it's like I was working on this one, but then I had this other idea and it came into it too. But the problem is, like, if you don't write your ideas down the moment you get them, you may lose them. And you might not be able to remember them. You're like, hey, that was a really good idea. Like, for example, this is just writing a screenplay about somebody with psychosis and like a horror movie scenario. And like, you hear exactly what the patient hears the whole entire time. The person with psychosis. So you hear voices. And most of the time in horror movies, you don't really see the perspective of the person that's actually affected with the illness. And that's something that I would want to film if I was making a horror movie. Because you never see the person with the illness, like you see it from their perspective. You always see it from an outsider's perspective. And that's something I would like to capture. Because I feel like it'd be a different movie experience. Because most of the time when you go to the movie, you feel like you're just kind of watching something. And I feel like if you're watching this kind of movie, it'll make you feel like you're living it. Because you're understanding more of how it feels.
I like that. It's very experimental.
Yeah, and that's something I would like to work on more and develop and write the script out more and make it more flushed out. But it's just one of the ideas I've had for a while, and I really want to like tack it.
That sounds like a really cool idea. That'd be really fun to make.
Yeah. I can't.
Would it be filmed like from their point of view?
No, not like that. It would film like a normal movie would.
Mm-hmm.
But the things they would experience would like kind of like some of the shots would be kind of like over the shoulders, sort of. Yeah. So it kind of feels like more from her.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the sound and stuff you would hear would be like, there's a microphone that's like kind of like the microphone we're using here at the Yeti that has like ears on it.
Yeah, those ASMR ones.
Yeah, the ASMR ones. Well, that's what we would use, and people can walk around and talk with it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what psychosis is, essentially the person hears things and sees things that's not actually there.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd be constantly hearing voices in your head and stuff, and you're hearing just like this whisper. And I think it would be like the coolest thing, watching sitting in a theater and like you're watching this movie and you hear like this voice like come from over here and it's like over here now, just like it's like just and like I think it'd be just such a wild experience.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. So I'm trying to put all my pain, all my stuff into being creative again.
That's awesome. That's a good way to channel your energy.
Yeah. I feel like it's a positive way to try to put back something out that I'm passionate about.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of like working on a project and then finding something else that's like more exciting, I was making a comic called Bowling Dads, which is pretty self-explanatory. But then one of my old ideas like came out of nowhere, and I've been working on that instead. Just because like my Bowling Dads idea is really good. But it's like mostly like comedy, and I wanted to make something a little more sincere.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I feel you. I'd be interested in seeing that Bowling Dads though.
It's good, but it's really inspired by JoJo's. So I'm not sure if you like JoJo's or not.
I still haven't seen JoJo's.
I'm not sure if you would like it. Just because like some of the scenarios is like, oh my god, this frog jumped 3 centimeters and it gave me enough time to escape from this thing.
Is like the first season on Netflix?
I think it's on Netflix and Hulu.
Okay, there we go. We got both of those.
Dub.
We good. Dubs? Okay, we're good.
But like some people, I don't know, like the first three or 4 seasons, like some people, or no, it's the first 3 seasons. Some people, it's like a totally different vibe from the later half. So you'll see how you feel about it.
Yeah, I'll eventually have to get around to watching it. There's
what have you been watching recently?
Currently, I've been watching a show called This Is Us.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what it is, it's a drama where it follows 3 siblings and the parents of the siblings at different time periods. So it follows Kevin, Randall, and Kate as they're all 32, I think, in the time of the show. Mm-hmm. And they also share the same birthday as their dad. Mm-hmm. But Randall was adopted, like because they lost a baby. They were gonna have triplets, and they lost a baby. This is really isn't much of a spoiler. This is something you see in the first couple episodes. This is like something that's kind of like obvious. He's adopted. I mean, come on, look at he doesn't. He's not the same color. I mean, come on.
Same color what?
I mean, Randall's black. I mean, it's obvious he did not come from this white chick, Mandy Moore. Come on. I'm not. What we turn this into is on a race thing. But yeah, he shares the same birthday as the kids, and that was kind of like his birthday present, sort of like he managed to get it. And it follows the parents trying to raise the kids throughout their life and stuff. And it's just a really good show. Like the writing is superb. The characters, they're just written so well, and they have like so many good arcs to them. And the dialogue, it's just written so well to where some episodes make you actually cry. Like it makes you actually like feel like actual scenarios and stuff. Like it's really sad sometimes, and stuff just shocks you. And I haven't seen that good of a writing from a show in a long while. Like there's Game of Thrones was a good show, but it like flopped the last season. I mean it bombed hard. Dexter was a good show, but it wasn't the good show for all of its dialogue's sake. It was just a good show in general because of the action and things that was happening. And
did you not like the story of Dexter?
I like the story of Dexter. I like the serial killer and stuff like that. But I felt the story was weaker in comparison to something like this. Like this actually has a more concrete, developed story and has like a lot of different overlapping arcs and things that kind of builds up from. But yeah, I heavily recommend This Is Us. It's all on Hulu.
That sounds really interesting.
It's a really good show.
Is it long?
It's they're on the 3rd season now.
Mm-hmm.
So and they're like 40-minute episodes. I'm not sure how many episodes is in a season. I'm currently on the 1st season right now. Actually, I have not been watching much TV. I've been out doing things.
Yeah.
Which currently, this Friday, I'm going to a pre-release for Throne of Eldraine, the set I talked about earlier. Such a great set. There's so many cards I'm excited for. I'm just going to talk briefly about it in this segment we call What You Playing.
Wait, I want to talk about the anime I was watching.
Oh, go ahead, man. Yeah, sorry. I forgot to talk about the shows we're watching. Yeah.
Alright. So, I've been watching Demon Slayer, and it's
Demon
pretty
Slayer.
badass. You know, it's got, like, some anime guy, and he goes up to demons, and he's like, "Ugh! Ugh! Ugh!" But then his sister turns out to be a demon, and he's like, "Oh, I can't kill that demon." But he's still, like, killing demons. Ugh! Into
Is this
some of these.
pretty...
Ugh!
Is this how...
Into some of these.
Is that how the combat is in the show?
Well, there's one guy that has 2 swords.
Oh, you
He's
like 2 swords?
Oh,
Oh, goddamn. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. You know, if you like really cool badass things, you'd probably like Demon Slayer.
Oh. Is it dubbed yet?
No.
No?
So you probably won't like it.
Oh.
I feel like it's gonna be the new like My Hero shonen-esque thing where it's like goes on forever and never ends.
Okay. I know there's a lot of people that hate dubs. I'm just be honest. I can't stand watching subs because I like doing things while I'm watching stuff.
And like if you argue about sub or dub, it's like get out of here.
It's just like watch it however you want to watch it. Honestly, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. You're developing the same content the same way. The dialogue might be slightly different from what you're reading, but if you read the dialogue subtitles for Naruto and you listen to the audio and dubbed, I tell you what, the audio and dub sounds better and makes more sense than the subtitle I was reading.
My rule of thumb is like if it's super well animated, dub that bad boy. But if it's like some crappy dumb thing that has like a good story, then do the sub. Who cares? But like I can't watch a really well animated thing and like not be able to look at the animation if I'm reading. Like I spend a lot of time reading it, you know, like Mob Psycho.
I need to get around to watching that. Like you're telling me earlier that Mob Psycho is like a one of your must watch. You say
it's up there, man. It's probably like my top 3.
Top 3 anime or top 3 show like animated shows?
Probably anime. If I had to think about shows, that's pretty hard.
Yeah, like you've watched so many great animated shows over the years. Like
I've watched a lot of them. Like almost all of them.
if you had to like pick one.
Space Dandy.
Space Dandy?
Yeah, but for personal reasons, not because it's actually really good. Like I wouldn't recommend it to everyone, but it's definitely like something that I have like a hyper interest in.
So for any kind of animation that's your go-to, like this is like the animation I would recommend anybody to watch, or like
I would not recommend Space Dandy to everyone. If I had to recommend something, I guess like Mob Psycho, because it's like short and every episode is like really beautiful, or OKKO. That's a really good show. It's like super cartoony, but that's also not for everyone. But I also recommend like Steven Universe. Like you can't go wrong with Steven. That's like one of the greatest shows. And Gravity Falls. That's like
Gravity Falls is really good.
That is the greatest animation ever.
I hadn't got around to watching that like season 3, but the first 2 seasons I did watch.
Have you not finished it?
No, I haven't finished it.
Crazy. They pull out all the stops. Wait a minute, there was no season 3. There was just 2 seasons.
Oh, there was season 2? Okay, I know I didn't finish it though. Like, I know I didn't finish it. I know there was like book 3 and stuff. Just like, but the show was really great.
But yeah, what games have you been playing?
I'm playing Borderlands 3. So, long story short, I've been paying bills at my place, and I've been kind of in a hole a little bit. But I went to a draft for Magic, and we ended up drafting Modern Horizons, which that set had like Ren and 6 in it, and a lot of these good money cards, which I might have visuals pop up here. We'll see. And I pulled out of my third pack, which is the final pack, the final say so, what possible good rare I can pull, a foil Force of Negation. That card is worth about $150. So
dang,
it was a $20 draft. So I made a $130 profit. I sold that thing for $130 actually. So I made $110 profit. But previously, I was having a conversation with my friend TJ, and he was saying, like, are you going to get Borderlands 3 for a PS4? It's like $50 right now at Walmart. I'm like, I don't know. I really can't afford it. I mean, I barely afford to do this draft. And then I pull that card, and I'm like, and then instantly I'm like, sell it to this guy that was wanting it.
Was the person you sold it to, was it someone that's at the shop?
Yeah, he's at the shop. He does a lot of online sales and stuff, and he was looking for something really good, and I pulled that foil Force and Negation. He PayPal'd me instantly. It's like, okay, here we go.
That's so cool.
And then I just like, after I lost round 1 because my deck wasn't really that great, I was kind of doing this changeling like sliver theme that is like real grindy, and based on how that game 1 went, how the round 1 went, I left and went to Walmart and picked up my copy of Borderlands 3. I went home and started playing Borderlands 3.
That's awesome.
But Borderlands 3 is so good. I've been enjoying it. It's almost, I don't know if I like it better than the second one, which is like the go-to everyone has for Borderlands series. But I'm enjoying it a lot. It's really well. I played a little bit of the new Call of Duty beta because it's open. Thought I'll try it.
What do you think of it?
It looks like Battlefield, but it's actually like, it still feels like Call of Duty. You're shooting, all the shooting, and when you die and stuff feels like Call of Duty. Mm-hmm. But the way you spawn in, the way the graphics and everything looks is more traditional, and it looks a lot like Battlefield's graphics look.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing. Battlefield has better graphics and stuff. And it looks like Call of Duty is trying to go a little bit more in the right direction, but it's real disjointing, like how you die and stuff, because it's just like all of a sudden, all the time. It's just like, oh, no. Just like, it's how the game is, though.
You gotta get good.
Yeah, you gotta get good, exactly. My favorite FPS shooter was Black Ops Retribution. I played the hell out of that game. And my dad even played it too. And we got to a point where we knew everybody in the community on the PC. But then the game stopped being supported. Like, we knew everybody. Everyone knew us.
That's so cool.
It's like, oh, hey, it's He-Man, so let's go. We would hop in the game. Because my dad and I were both like, he's like He-Man 194, I'd be like He-Man KY 20,001, whatever. But everyone knew us when we hopped at the games. And it was so fun because the community was like really nice. It wasn't really toxic people. And we played with the same people for years.
That's so
like
cool.
Everybody would hop on. We would see like Sergeant Willis hop on, be like, see Dark. I didn't see Dark near the end of it. But we see the same people playing over the years. And it was so cool. We played it for like 4 years.
Did you get like their contacts? Like based on...
No. I friended like one of them. I think it was Sniper Kitty.
Sniper Kitty.
Whoa.
Yo.
But that game was so much fun. I played it on the PS4, which, by the way, I have nothing in the game because that game is like a massive grind to unlock anything, and I don't have anything on the PS4. And I still managed to do really good and place really high. I'm over here in the most generic default gear possible, and like this guy right next to me in the second place slot is like fully decked out. But it just doesn't feel the same. Like, keyboard and mouse is just so much better for playing shooters. And I honestly would have got Borderlands 3 for my computer that we're filming this on now, if it wasn't on Epic, because I do not like Epic. I do not.
You don't like Epic?
I don't like Fortnite. I don't like what they did to the video game market. They saturated it. When they did that, they caused all of the independent video game developers to release battle royale clones of their games. It'll be their same game. Like even Valve released Counter-Strike as a battle royale. Battlefield's done it. Call of Duty's done it. Battle Right's done it. That's a MOBA. They done it. And
Tetris has done it.
Paladins has done it. Like all these games that had a lot going for them end up just turning to battle royale clones, and I just hated that. Like, I always just like, why? And the craziest thing was Borderlands 3 was sold to Epic exclusively for 6 months, just only be on there instead of Steam for $4 million.
That's crazy.
$4 million? You know how little that is to a gaming company? Like, Gearbox, like when they, you know how many units they sold for Borderlands 2, like in all the other Borderlands series? That's so little money. And I think it's just crazy that they made that deal and they just sold it and for six months exclusively on Epic.
At least it's still on PlayStation.
Yeah, it's still on PlayStation, but
Xbox.
I'd rather have got it for PC because I'm going to have to buy it for PC whenever it comes on Steam.
Do you think you'll ever invest or you'll ever get Epic? Like, what if like a super dope game is like exclusive to it?
I wouldn't ever play it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I had an Epic account because I played Fortnite because I wanted to know if Fortnite was any good or not. I hated it. Just like, then my account got hacked. I didn't try to get it back. Just like, I could easily get it back, but I didn't care. Just like,
yeah, I have Fortnite, but like, I don't like shooty games, and I mostly just have it for when my brother comes over from Lexington, and he just like, the player base on the Switch Fortnite is like a bunch of little kids, and he's able to get some like nasty stuff. He's gotten like Victory Royale like over and over just because the player base is like so bad.
That's crazy. Like, I wonder how the player base is from like console to everything. Like varies from console to phone to thing. Like, I wonder if, because I know it's cross-platform, but
yeah, it is.
If it was 100% cross-platform, the PC player will win every time.
Well, I'm not sure if my brother made it so he just plays with Switch people or not. I think he just had it where it's just Switch people and not like. If
you could have it play with everybody, I guarantee you the PC player will win. It's like if you're going, someone's on the phone, someone's on the console, and someone's on the PC.
Well, you know, with PC, it's not like a little kid. It's
yeah.
Like, kid's not gonna have like a super nice computer.
Yeah, and honestly, this right here is the most tactical thing. Like, this is so precise in what you're aiming at in comparison to something like this controller here. You know, it's way more precise what you're aiming. You have to move this analog stick here to try to move it exactly to the spot where you're going to try to aim. Instead, you move it half an inch and you're already on the target. Like, it's PC all the way.
Yeah, PC Master Race.
I can't play Smash on PC, though. Actually, technically I can. But it's not fun. It has to be with the GameCube controller. That's how I feel about fighting games, though. Fighting games and third-person games on computer, I have to play with controller. It just feels best on controller. I even play Grand Theft Auto on my computer with a controller, just because I played it all my life that way.
Yeah, and like I probably wouldn't feel as fun to play it with a keyboard.
No, but there's a new game that just came out. Even Video Game Donkey did a video over it, and you were excited and you want to talk about it.
Well, I interrupted you earlier about you were talking about the Magic that's coming out this Friday.
Yeah,
let's talk about that first.
Oh, okay. Well, the pre-release is happening this Friday, and I'm very excited for this set. There's a lot of waves that's going to be made, this set, because it's one of the first top-down design sets they did since, like, Hour of Devastation and Amonkhet. And what basically top-down design set means is, like, it's confined to this one set. It's not trying to, like, expand to the next set they're releasing. It's exclusive here. And they had a theme to it where it was all going to be fairy tales and grim fairy tales, dark stuff, and like Camelot and like lore and everything, like Knights of the Round Table. It's really cool. There's art for like Little Mermaid, except you call like the wishful merfolk, and then there's like the Love-Struck Beast, which is like the beast from Beauty and the Beast.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's so many like awesome cards in it. It's like there's one called the Robber of the Rich. You know, that's Robin Hood. And like it's really cool because like you see all these stuff you've seen all over your life. You know, you see the Gilded Goose. That's just the Golden Goose and stuff. You see there's giants. There's the Beanstalk Giant. Like there's like this all. It's so clever what they did with the set, and it's so cool going through and just like trying to build stuff from what's in it.
I want the goose one.
Oh yeah, like the goose is really cool. But in the pre-release it's coming up. I can't wait for it because I'm brewing constantly with these new decks and like these new cards, figuring out what's going to be broken in the new set. Because my favorite thing to do in Magic the Gathering is make decks. That's what I do, is make decks. If you go to Friday Night Magic, you'll see me play a different deck every single week. That's my thing. It's how I continue playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to make a prediction on what's going to be played in the next coming upsets, Mono Black Devotion is going to be a deck. Because Mono Black, I said Devotion, yes. Devotion. It's actually going to be comeback. If you don't know what Devotion mechanics is, these black symbols it's on your cards, the top of the card, that's your Devotion. So, it's going to be insane. Because Theros is going to be the next set that's going to be released after this. And Theros' theme was only Devotion. That's their whole thing. It was about having Devotion. Well, they just released, because this is like reminiscent to the standard that I first started playing Magic in, which was Theros, which was 2014, I think, when it happened. There was a Desecration Demon Pack Rat deck. Basically, the demon was a 6/6 flyer with trample. Whenever you go to combat, your opponent has to either sack a creature and so that he can't attack.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do that, Desecration Demon gets 1/1 counter. So it was just ridiculous what this card can do. But they just released something that's really good, similar to it. It's a 5 mana, 8/8 trample haste. And it puts out 3 goats on your opponent's side of the board.
Mm.
But whenever you go to combat, your opponent can sack a creature, and when you do, you tap the troll so they can't attack. But you gain 3 life and draw a card. So essentially, you're just deading card advantage off your opponent sacking their creatures.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just pure benefits. There's also a curve of the new Rackle. I'm gonna be okay. I gotta stop the rant. I can go forever on Magic. I'm only gonna talk about this one deck and one other deck, and I'm not gonna go in detail with that other deck because I can just send you a link to that one. Okay, so there's that card. There's also a Rackle, which is like this Master of Pranks. I'm pretty sure that's how I say her name. She's 4 mana, 3/3 flying haste. She can sack creatures. Each player sacks creatures. Each player draws cards, and each player discards the cards when she attacks. She's a 3/3. That's really good, and especially in this shell of a deck, because you're making your opponents constantly sack creatures and make it harder and harder for them to attack. And this happens to both players, so you may be wondering, like, what creatures are we going to be sacking? Well, there is the Pied Piper. They actually made the Pied Piper. He calls rats and everything. He makes rats. You can sack the rats. So you can continuously eat all your opponent's resources and not lose anything on your board. It's really ridiculous.
You get to stack rats.
Yeah, you get to sack rats, bro. There's also a 3 mana triple black card. Every time we play a black creature, you drain your opponent for 1 and you gain 1. And then you can tap and sack a black creature to draw a card, which is just really, really good. And especially in another deck I'm brewing, but I'm not going to talk about that one. There is Oko. That card is it's ridiculous. It creates a food token. You also can make a creature with a base power of 3/3. And whatever counters it's on, it will still be on it. It'll be elk. And you can also take control of something with soft possession. But there's a card called Dreadhorde Invasion that came out in War of the Spark a couple sets ago that it makes it a zombie token with the mass, and it gets 1/1 counters every single turn. But whenever you make the token, you can turn it into an elk with Oko, and you basically turn it into a 4/4 elk, and you get a 4/4 elk every turn, which just overpowers the board state, and you can do it as early as turn 3, making 4/4s on every single turn. No one can compete with that. This deck is going to be absolutely ridiculous. It's going to be, my prediction, the next Players Tour, because they're no longer doing Pro Tours anymore. It's going to be 4 of the top 8. That's 4 of the top 8. So that means half the decks are going to be that Oko deck. And the other decks are going to be Mono Red Burn. Mono Red Burn's probably going to get the first week.
Mm-hmm.
It's notorious. The Mono Red wins the first tournament of whatever season happens of a new format.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge rotation happening where 4 sets are going to rotate out.
Mm-hmm.
And Mono Red's going to win because Mono Red does this every single set. Forever. It's notorious. It's just the fastest deck. You don't have to think much. It's simple. It's bread and butter. You know, it's just simple delicacies. It's the best way to describe it. Mono Red. Just play mono red, you win at the beginning of the rotation. It's because everyone's scrambling to try to come up with this crazy deck. And mono red is just so streamlined. Just steamroll people.
Do you think you could become like a professional Magic player?
No, ego aside, yes. Like, the way I analyze Magic in deck build, in theory craft, and study the game, I honestly think I could. It's just transportation, going to the tournaments, going to the bigger stuff, and, putting in the extra effort to do that. And especially location is a thing. Like, the closest ones are all like in Louisville, which I kind of go to Louisville, but I don't know. I eventually have to do it.
Yo, let's go to Louisville. Let's become
let's go to
professional
Louisville.
Magic players.
That'd be great.
I am going to Louisville in November for GalaxyCon.
GalaxyCon?
Yeah, so I'll miss the November tournament.
Oh, rip. Oh, so this is funny. On my YouTube rabbit hole stream, where like I'm going down the rabbit hole watching random videos on YouTube, I end up finding one where like Jennifer Lawrence was talking about Kentucky slang, and because apparently she lived in Louisville, she was born in Louisville, and she was saying all this slang that I had no idea. I never heard any of this. Like, I lived in Kentucky all my life. Like, you lived in Kentucky all your life. I swear you will not know any of these. The only one that, like, I knew was, like, buggy.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what a buggy is?
Buggy?
Yeah.
Like a cart?
Yeah, a shopping cart.
Okay, yeah, I knew what that was.
Yeah, you know what that is.
But, like, it's such a weird word for a cart that, like, I've only heard, like, 2 people use.
Like, everyone at Marketplace says it.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, I got my buggy. Just like...
Get out of here. That sounds like something they would say in, like, Australia.
Yeah, well, actually, it's funny. The person that was also with her was Australian. He was trying to guess what it was. Just like...
Okay, so maybe I don't know my geography.
Yeah, but it's funny because every single time she listen to something, it's like, what is that? And apparently, the Louisville is called the Ville. I never heard Louisville.
Is that because
called
like
the Ville.
people don't want to like say Louisville and they're like, no, it's Louisville.
Yeah, because people always complain to how you pronounce it.
I mean, it's like the biggest city in Kentucky, I think.
Yeah, it's bigger than our capital, I'm pretty sure, Frankfurt.
Yeah, Frankfurt's small.
Frankfurt is really small.
It's baby
I went to
town.
Frankfurt once on a boys' state field trip, and I got to go into meet the Secretary of State and walk around in like the Capitol buildings where they did all the bill creating. And I hate government. Just like,
what made you hate it?
How imbalanced it is and how hard it is to pass a bill.
Yeah.
Like, because we went through the whole entire thing. We ended up splitting up into the Senate and the House. And we had to try to make bills and try to pass them. And the problem is, if the other branch got a wind of you making a bill, they would try to release their own bill the exact same as yours. The thing is, you get extra incentives in government for releasing bills from your own side. So people are more inclined to try to get stuff released themselves. But when both groups are trying to pass a bill that's similar, and they want their bills to pass over the other person's bills, their own egos get aside and will only vote for their own bill and veto your bill. So no one will ever pass. Like, we couldn't get hardly anything passed because of how ridiculous it is. And the reason why they do this stuff is so younger people can learn how government works. And the thing is, it's actually how corrupt and how crazy it is. Like, that's how government is. I think it's the most insane process ever of trying to pass a bill. Like, you wonder why it takes forever to get bills passed? That's why, because people can't agree on anything.
Yeah.
It's
funny, it sounds like it deterred you from government.
Oh, dude, I hate government.
And, like, in politics and stuff.
I can't stand politics at all, man. Just like, it's so corrupt. Like, I don't try to follow politics at all because it's just like, it's so like underhanded in so many things.
It's like a cesspool.
It's a trap. So what games have you been playing?
Speaking of bills, I've been playing Goose Game, which they showed off in like a random Nintendo Indie Direct. And at first I was like, this is really cute and I'm really excited for it. But I was kind of had like low expectations for it because I was like, it's a cute idea, but it might not pan out to be a very fun game. But it actually did. I think it's really good. It's not super long, which is why I like it. And it's kind of like a stealth / puzzle game. And it's just, you play as a goose and you go around and just like bother people. And it's just funny, and the music is like, makes it sound like so beautiful, and it looks really good. And the AI is really good, and like, it's awesome to like, as the goose, like try to force these interactions with like the NPCs and like see them actually do something. Like, that's like, oh my gosh, that's so cool that they knew someone would do this. And I think it's really fun. It might not be for everyone, but I really enjoyed it.
I was watching Donkey's video he just released of it.
It was good.
It's pretty great. It's
pretty good like preview of the game.
Yeah. I laughed pretty hard at some parts of it.
That's good.
Like when he was like when the old man was trying to go continuously go for the rake, and he's like keeps trying to like slide past him with the rake. It's just like no.
He did such a bad job. He makes it look so hard. It's not. It's so easy. It's the first level. That's kind of the second level.
Yo, he does it for the lulz, man. So it's for the content.
I think he did a good job, like editing it with the music, because like it really does get like super intense. But then he just cuts the music right when it gets in the pond. He's like, I'm done. Like, I thought that was like the way he edited that. I was like, wow, that was really good. Like,
yeah,
he did a good job editing that.
Hopefully, I did a good job editing this.
I think you will.
So any other games you've been playing besides the Goose game?
Been trying to 2 games kinda. I've been kinda jumping between Dragon Quest XI, the demo of it, and Final Fantasy VII. But like, I really feel like I just can't stomach games that are like super long, just cause like when I play games, I like don't have a lot of time to play games, and like, cause I like to draw in my free time. So I think when I play games, I like these short experiences instead of like trying to read and like remember a story and stuff. Like, I like RPGs like Pokemon, but like it's really hard to play like Final Fantasy or anything like that.
I want to see you play Dark Souls.
I probably wouldn't like Dark Souls. Like, I like games that are hard.
You like Cuphead?
I love Cuphead. That's the only reason I don't like super hard games. They have to grind, but Cuphead was definitely an exception. Like, that game is one of my favorite games. It's amazing.
They did so much work on that game.
That's the only game where I like have just gone back and like replayed it when I have like a thirst for it. And I've gotten A rank on everything, and I tried to get S rank on everything before like the DLC comes out. But I feel like I'll have enough time to get that, because Cuphead takes forever to make.
Yeah. Whenever they were making Cuphead, I've seen all the behind scenes and stuff of it, and it's just insane how much detail they put into like the animations, like how the faces move and everything, and how lively it is. And there's so many things, like, you gotta think, like, there's an animator that had a hand draw on every aspect of that, and he moved like 60 frames like in that short span, and he had a hand animate that.
And like, what surprised me about Cuphead is that like they're not even like animation historians. Like, they didn't like go to school and study like 30s animation and study that style or anything. They had like an affinity for it. They liked it.
Yeah.
They weren't like, that wasn't like their 100% main thing. That was just like the gimmick they randomly threw in. They're like, oh, it sticks. And they're like, oh, now we need to study like old-timey animation. And it's like, it's crazy. Like, I feel like when I'm making something, I need to have the fullest, utmost understanding of it. But they didn't. They kind of just jumped into it and like went, like, just like learned as they went. I thought that part of it was really inspiring.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that when you make stuff? Like,
sometimes just jumping into it is the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel that. Because sometimes, like, you don't really necessarily know where the end point of, like, what you're going to do yet. Just like I didn't know the end point of my sentence when I was speaking. Got him! And sometimes you find it while working on it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you find it near the end. Like, you don't know how you're going to end something in your video, and then all of a sudden it's like, that's how we're gonna end it with that.
Speaking
gag.
of, goodbye, guys. Man.
See. Just like, be a good way to end it just now.
Oh my god, that'd be so abrupt.
Yep. Ending. Yep. But I can definitely understand that whole process. I used to be so diehard trying to make YouTube work for me. I worked when I was working at Dairy Queen. I would work my long hours. I would as soon as I get home, it would be like 11 o'clock at night. I would record for up until like almost 4 in the morning. Well, actually closer to 3 in the morning, and then I would like try to edit, and then go to bed, and then like while the video is rendering and stuff, I would wake up, I would upload the video, go to work, come home, and the video would be uploaded by the time I get home, and I could start recording with something else.
Dang, that sounds like a crazy schedule.
I had uploaded 2 videos using this system. I would upload 2 videos a day, and I did it for 2 months. It was hell. I would never recommend anybody doing that unless you're getting paid to do YouTube.
Yeah.
It's absolutely nightmare. Your quality also suffers for it. Like, you don't have the time to properly do anything with it. And I can definitely see the quality of my videos diminish because of that.
I think if you didn't work at Dairy Queen, it would have been a little easier on you. But, like, that's impossible.
Yeah, I need money. I need currency.
I mean, I don't know, dude. You can become a famous YouTuber.
Oh, yeah.
It's so easy. It's as easy as becoming a famous Smash player.
It's true.
With no effort.
Yeah. Let's just be as big as, like, PewDiePie tomorrow.
Dude,
Just, like, upload this video. Oh, yeah.
all you gotta do is say the N-word. Are you ready?
Oh.
3, 2, 1.
Nigeria. It's a great continent. Just like,
It is.
It's continent, right? No, it's just like a good
My
country.
God.
It's a good country, man.
I want to see the alternate universe where we did say the N-word.
Whole entire internet blows up.
It'd get us some attention, some traction.
In the wrong connotations, and what we don't want.
I don't know. We could get like a whole fan base of like alt-right Nazi people.
I don't think we want that, do we?
I mean, they got money.
Do they? I'm just like,
Yeah, dude. They would help us with their Patreon.
oh well.
No,
Speaking of
just
which,
kidding.
we need to eventually make a Patreon for this.
Yeah, I want to make a Patreon for my comic that I'm working on.
You know what you should do?
What?
You should do pre-order on the comics.
Our friend Joe's making a comic, but like he doesn't really have like money to like get it printed off. So he was going around asking people like, "Hey, buy my comic, but you'll have to pay for it in advance, like pre-order it." No, wait, let me re-say that. It was one of a friend's birthday, and he was like, "Here, you can have my comic for free. You just have to pay for it to get it because you don't have money to print it." Like, that's such a weird sentence.
It's so weird.
But his comic's gonna be dope. It's called Whirly Girls.
Yeah, he's been working on it hard.
Well, he hasn't worked on it for the past 4 days, but for the past month, he's been working on it super hard.
Yeah.
I hope he gets it done.
Well, what's happened? Did he get like some kind of block or something?
His eyes hurt, and then I think maybe he's gotten lazy. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, sometimes when doing a really long project, sometimes you need to take a little break from your project. You can't just grind at it all day, every day. That's how you burn out of stuff.
Yeah, I definitely like have days where I'm like, yo, I can't draw. I'm so burnt out. Some days I just like lay in my bed and cry all day, and that's just my day. That's my refresh day.
Your refresh day, you shut down. It's like, I'm gonna bawl my eyes out all day long now.
Yeah, it's like every weekend.
Every weekend.
Yeah.
Is that why I don't hear from you for some time?
Yeah.
Poor Drew.
Dude, those are the best days, so.
The best days, huh?
But like, I always get like a guilt feeling, like if I'm not drawing, like even like it's hard to play games because I'm like, man, I gotta be drawing. What am I doing? You know what I'm saying?
I understand that entirely. Not drawing it, like I'm not that good of an artist. Like things.
I liked the portraits you did forever ago.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you. But I understand that. Like, if I feel like I'm not producing something or creating something, I feel like I'm not doing anything. Like I feel like I'm not progressing as a person or in life. Just like I feel like I'm not doing anything, and I guess that's kind of a sediment to my block I had. I just feel like I had been progressing, but now I've been researching, learning so many effects. I've been looking at tutorial after tutorial after tutorial, just taking in knowledge and taking in things and trying to learn as much as I possibly can about every aspect of like video editing or ways to make things more efficient and ways to make things better in general for video production. And I'm just trying to learn as much as I can because I want to be better and better in what stuff I do. I found that when I got out of high school, I actually learned way more out of high school than I've ever did in high school about things I like and things I'm passionate about.
How so?
Like, I would go into, like, there's not a video editing class in high school. There was not that. I would research things constantly and, like, try to learn so much about, like, video editing, like, so many different things about what kind of microphones and things you should use, like, what kind of editing, rendering methods you should work out and what you should do, what kind of suggestions should you work with, what kind of, even going down to speaking. I even looked up stuff on how to speak better. Sometimes I know I'm not 100% utilizing it here, but I like to think I have, because before in the past, the way I spoke wasn't always the cleanest. There's a lot of filters, a lot of likes. I've done a few here and there here, but we gotta get the rust off somehow. Just like,
I feel like I say a lot of uhs and ums.
Yeah, and I'm trying my best to stay off those filter words as much as possible because it doesn't
it's
sound
impossible sometimes.
It's impossible sometimes.
I feel like I ramble pretty badly. I'm trying to like make sure I don't ramble because sometimes I just ramble and it never ends and I'm always rambling and then
I could talk about magic for hours and hours and hours.
You should.
I could talk about it forever.
You should do that when I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Like I talked about magic for almost like 15 minutes.
We should always have Wesley's Magic Corner. Would you be able to do that every bi-weekly?
Oh yeah, then I can come up with like a different deck every week or so. I don't know. We'll have to see how many people we get for Magic. Like now that we're doing everything, not just Smash, we'll have to see how many different people we connect with.
I wonder if it'll be more than Pokemon.
We got 2 people.
It can't get worse than that.
It can't get worse.
Yo, a tournament.
We're 2 people. We can watch our video.
I really want to do a Puyo Puyo Tetris tournament. That's something I'm really excited about. But it's like we got to figure out like when it would be best to do it.
Yeah, we've been trying to do a lot of scheduling. We have a lot of events coming up soon, and I have a few phone calls I actually need to make with some different organizations. Ooh. So we can possibly maybe do more tournaments or help out other people's tournaments. So we got some stuff coming up. I'm excited for it. And you got you're doing the FanCon poster for this year.
Yeah, I'm doing all the promotional art for FanCon, which is something this is like one of like my dream things I wanted to do ever since I made FanCon, because I was like, I can do that. And I got to do it, and it's awesome. And I'm going like above and beyond because I'm even getting like a standee printed out of like the character I made for the poster, and I'm gonna try to help out a lot.
I'm really loving the art, what you've done for it too. Like, you made the posters for all the BadFellas things ever since.
I think that's what made them like want to hire me to do it.
Yeah, because there's constantly being handed your artwork every single month, and they're like, "Oh man, he's really good."
I've definitely
get him to do the art for FanCon. I mean,
I think the number one thing that you can notice throughout my posters is that halfway through doing them, I was like, wait a sec, I can overlay a grid so my handwriting looks straight. And like that like completely changed my posters. I don't know if you'll be able to notice it, but like it like really like, to me it's like this just looks so much cleaner.
I've really enjoyed seeing what you do every week with them though. Every month with them.
I like doing it. It's like a puzzle.
Yeah, and you have a couple posters you're working on now for all the events that's coming out.
I mean, I'm still not even done with the FanCon. technically. I mean, I ain't done, but like
I'm not sure if this video will be up by this point. But October 12th is going to be a fun day at the library where we're just going to play video games. Everyone gets to come out and hang out. Round Robin Smash. So every person there will be in a bracket and play against everybody there.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but getting beat by Tyler every single tournament.
Yeah, getting knocked out by Tyler.
Getting knocked out by Tyler every single tournament is like how I've been losing.
And like this won't. If you're listening, like this one doesn't count toward power rankings since it's round robin.
Do not worry about power rankings. It's just a way for people to play against people they normally play against. Like for example, how many times have you played against like me? You played against me once in the whole out of all the tournaments we had. I didn't make it to one, and you didn't make it to one, right?
Yeah.
I think you had made.
I've missed 2 now.
You missed 2.
I'm gonna miss 3 in November.
So out of 5 tournaments, because we didn't miss the same one. Out of 5 tournaments, we've only fought each other once in the actual bracket. So this would be a way for you to face people you hadn't normally fought in bracket.
Yeah.
And this won't be a real bracket. I mean, it's just going to be a way for everyone to actually fight each other.
Yeah. I'm not sure how round robin works, but...
It's based on just trying to get everybody to face each other.
Like there's no like winner or loser, it's just...
It's whoever does the best overall.
Oh,
like whoever has the best win
I see
percentage.
what you're talking about.
It's it'll start off like everyone, like if you had it seeded, everyone will face each other, and then after that there's be winners and losers. The winners will face each other, and the losers face each other, and then whoever's scores keep getting matched up that are similar will keep facing each other, and then it'll get to a point where they'll kind of just like go through everybody that they hadn't fought, and they'll just kind of like go from there. But at the end of it, you'll see whoever has the most points wins score, like 7-1 or whatever, and that's not best score. That's the one guy who won. So that's how you have round robin works. English.
I'm interested to see how that goes.
I was in speech until 5th grade. Just like
man, I feel like now that I understand how round works, I really want to like start practicing Smash.
I want to practice more, and especially after I did how I did at the tournament. I
like
honestly
extra jazzed.
I feel extra jazzed because I know I was not holding Blizzard back. I was not holding him back, and it felt so good because it's like the whole entire time I thought I was gonna be like holding him back, and I'm gonna be the reason why we lose, and there's so many times like I was the last one left, and I was able to pull it out. So I'm just like. If it gave me so much more confidence about Smash in general. And I think I need to spend more time playing the game. I don't play the game enough. And, I don't play the game enough. That's really the biggest thing. Like, I think I can possibly be a contender, like Joey Wheeler, if I've actually played more.
And, like, yeah, for you there's, like, a lot of, you're friends with you're in Madisonville, so you want to practice with anyone, it's not a huge like drive or commitment. Yeah. Like you can hit up Tyler or Timothy or whoever.
Tyler lives like real close by. Timothy lives downstairs. Just
like I want to fight like Timothy every day because like I feel our matches like I'm learning, but like I can't really do that if I gotta drive like 20 minutes here and then 20 minutes back home. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny. He lives downstairs, but we never hang out.
That's why you just gotta like. You just gotta go in there. I mean, like
just like barge in.
So what is he gonna do? Like,
try to unlock his door with my key.
Would that work?
I thought this was the wrong apartment. I thought this was my apartment.
I'm sorry. I had too much to eat today, and I thought this was my apartment.
I was looking forward to playing some Smash.
But I guess we can play Smash while I'm here.
Yeah, I might as well play Smash. We gotta play Smash sometime, don't
we? Yeah, we already got our controllers out.
Do you listen to any podcasts?
I listen to Trends Like These every week, and I randomly listen to like my brother and me, or like Donkey's podcast. There's like a bunch of podcasts, like the Gamesman podcast. I'm the only one I'm committed to every week is Trends Like These.
Well, I got a huge one because I listen to these while I'm stocking stores. So I have to have a lot of content because I'm out stocking stores for a long time. So I have a buttload of Magic ones. I have a buttload of talk shows. So there's Ponder This, Think Twice, MTG Goldfish, Fetch and Shock, Tacked Out, Table for Two.
Ooh, I want to spit one out. I also, one that's really good for me is Snap Judgment by NPR. That one's really good. All right,
Snap Judgment by NPR.
It's just like a storytelling podcast, and but every episode has something that makes me want to cry. It's so beautiful. That's like, I used to listen to it at work when I worked at a factory, and I literally like had to cry like so many times. It was like,
you used to work at a factory?
Yeah, for like 1 week.
Oh wow!
I worked at IMS, and I was like, this is not for me. I'm out.
I think that's all the Magic podcasts. And then I used to listen to Smash Bros. Podcast, but they stopped making them because they burnt out. Like how we burnt out. It happens. That's why we got to talk about other things.
Yeah, that's why we're going to become a better podcast than them.
Yep.
We'll have on all the big esports guys.
Yeah.
See, next week I think we got MK Leo, something like that.
No. We got Leffen next week.
Yeah, Leffen.
I think we have MK Leo scheduled a couple weeks from now.
I can't remember. They're all the same.
Yeah, they're all about the same level. I mean.
Yeah, below me.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm better than them.
Yeah.
I just hadn't played on their level, because I can't afford to drive. Just like,
exactly.
It's obvious. I've listened to also another one called Beyond the Metagame.
Mm-hmm.
That one's really good. They talk about a lot of like psychological things in Smash. It's a different kind of podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Like they talk about a lot of the mental aspects of the game that no one really considers.
Ooh, maybe I'll have to check it out.
It's they're really smart. They talk with a lot of intelligence, and they have a lot of topics and things that are really interesting. And they have a lot of guests on that are professional players and that are.
Is it just Smash?
It's just Smash. So if you want a Smash podcast, that's a Smash podcast. But they find ways to keep it invigorated. Like they've been going for a while. I think they're on technically season 4 now or whatever, but they have over 100 something.
Oh, cool.
I think it's about 100. But that's a really good podcast. I've been listening to The Armchair Expert, which is Dax Shepard's podcast. Do you know who Dax Shepard is, Drew?
Mm-mm.
Do you remember Xanthura?
Mm-mm.
Without a paddle?
Mm-mm.
Did you ever watch a movie called Idiocracy?
Mm-mm.
Okay, a side note. Idiocracy is a great movie. Go watch it. It's hilarious. Terry Crews is in it. He's the president. He's President El Camacho. It's hilarious. So basically, these two average Joe people, this guy and this girl, get put in this time capsule. And they're going to be frozen for a year. Except some shit happened.
Oh, I heard about this movie.
And they unfreeze like 500 years later, and everyone's dumb. Everyone's stupider than a box of rocks, and they're the smartest people alive. They're watering their plants with fucking Gatorade. Just like, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I've heard about that movie.
It's so great. I love it. And Dax Shepard's in it, and he plays a character named Frito. Mm-hmm. He has all these really good actors and like comedians and really talented people on. It's always really interesting to listen to like the inside life of like an actor, and like the steps they went to try to become who they are. And I always thought it was really fascinating because I'm like really interested in movies. I'm really interested in like the whole like movie industry. Like I'm really interested in it because I one day would like to be a director or writer kind of thing. So hearing people talk about that kind of stuff is really interesting to me. I also been listening to one called Curious with Josh Peck because he has a podcast. Everyone has podcasts. He just had Jake Johnson on a while back.
What does he even talk about?
He talks about a lot of like what's his life going on. And
does he talk about his Drake and Josh ever?
Drake and Josh comes up at least like once every episode, just because like his guests will like refer to him and talk about Drake and Josh at some point, or he'll talk about how he'll be working on this project and stuff, and he'll go out in public or something, and someone will be like, "Oh, Josh," this like. Because of Drake and Josh, everyone knows Drake and Josh, but no one ever talks about him from like the whackness or any other things he's done. And it kind of feels like you're like a one-trick pony, sort of like everyone knows you for this. Is that how he expresses it? He doesn't necessarily say one-trick pony, but based on how he talks about it, how he seems to feel about it, it seems like he really he doesn't like always being known just for that. he likes that people know him for that, but he wishes that people would notice him for another thing he's more proud of, like The Whackness is apparently like one of his best movies he's done right after Drake and Josh, and I hadn't seen it yet. I heard him talk about it recently, but he was really proud of that. And
did he like direct it, or is he just an actor?
He was acted in it, and there was like a lot of good talent in it. There's a lot of good actors in it. I think Ben Kingsley was in it and stuff, and he was really proud of it. But I can kind of understand. Like, imagine if you were only known for one thing, like you were just known for that one art piece you did, but there's something else you were so much more proud of, and no one ever like really appreciated it. Mm-hmm. How would that make you feel? Like if it's like, oh, you did that one, but did you ever see this one that's like I spent so much more time on, that's like, just so much more developed. And,
yeah.
Like, I would understand like how that would feel.
I understand.
But it kind of gives and like listening to these podcasts humanizes these celebrities more. Like these people you look up to when you grow up and stuff, and these actors and people you see, it humanizes them more, gives them more of an element to just make them feel like more grounded, more. They're not like this superstar, like amazing, like crazy. Even though they do have money and they do have all that, fame and everything. They're just normal people. They have things going on. They just have like a little bit different life than us. Mm-hmm. So it's different listening to that kind of stuff. I listen to a lot of podcasts because I just have, I'm working physically, not mentally, so I'm listening to a lot of stuff.
That's pretty cool. I'm glad you listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
I bet it's like really like grows your brain, like all these different perspectives you're intaking all the time.
Yeah, I'm just listening like so many different people talk, and like so many different like integral conversations. There's so many like sub layers of things, and hearing people talk differently, like you kind of pick up on just for one terminology and like words and like I don't know. I think it's interesting, like listening to all of them, like I do. Mm-hmm. But like I notice when you're at work, you get to draw and stuff. Like that's a good way to keep yourself going and stuff while you're at work. You need some way to cope while you're at work.
Yeah, my job's kind of the opposite of Wesley's. Like, I like can't listen to podcasts, but like there's also like I have to wait for something to do. So like, I have time to draw, which is super dope.
Yeah. So I just listen to podcasts. Like, I listen to music too, but more often than not, I listen to podcasts just because listening to the same tracks over and over again eventually gets boring.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever get tired of listening to people talk?
Oh, no. I haven't yet. I've been like pretty consistently doing it for months now.
Sometimes like I'm like on long car rides or like something, I'm like, oof, if I hear another person talk, I'm gonna flip.
No, I think it's a good way to pass the time.
Yeah, I like it too.
It's a good way to take yourself out of the situation you're in and kind of like something a little different.
Do you like like podcasts that like tell stories?
Oh yeah, I listened to one called Dr. Death. Mm-hmm. It was about
Spill.
Oh, it's really good. It's really good. Recommend it. It's on Spotify.
What's it about?
It's about a neurosurgeon by the name of Christopher Dunst. Mm-hmm. You haven't heard of this guy. This guy was in the Dallas area, mm-hmm. and he was performing surgeries on people that's back surgeries and stuff, and he would mess up a lot. And
is this a fiction story?
This is true. This is real. He had paralyzed over 33 people and had murdered 6 of them.
And he has a podcast?
No, he doesn't have a podcast.
I'm just kidding.
This is about him.
The whole podcast is about him?
It's like about his backstory.
How long is it?
It's like, documentaries, like you watch documentaries. This is a podcast documentary. It's really good. It has a lot of like good background sound and stuff. It's so good.
I gotta write that down after this recording.
It's so good. As a matter of fact, they're working on a TV show in development right now with Christian Slater in it and Alec Baldwin, and they also have Jamie Dornan playing Christopher Dunst. But it's crazy that this doctor got away with it for so many years.
That is crazy.
Like he recently just got in prison.
Whoa! This is recent.
This is recent. His mainstream of doing it was like from 2011 to 2014. Like, and no, it was like 2009 to 2014. That's the span of him doing all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it was not that long ago that he was getting away with murder, essentially. Because no one wanted to file lawsuits and sue a doctor, because it's millions and millions of dollars to sue a doctor, if you don't know, especially neurosurgeon field. But I recommend listening to Dr. Death.
How long is it?
It's the whole initial podcast is 6 episodes. They're all about 40 minutes long. So
that sounds awesome.
It's really enjoyable. I really like listening to it. It's something different that I had, it's something different than you normally listen to.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done such a good job producing it. I was thinking about it a long while after finishing it.
That's awesome. Dude, I'm so hyped for that now. I gotta write that down.
Yeah.
Let me recommend some real quick.
Heavily recommend Dr. Death.
Speaking of documentaries, this is a documentary you could kind of listen to without visual. It's like a YouTube documentary, and it's probably the most cohesive and longest documentary series ever, and it's about Chris Chan. Do you know about Chris Chan?
Who's Chris Chan?
He made Sonic Pikachu.
What is this?
Well, it's too much to talk about, but like someone's making a documentary series, and they are 22 episodes in, and each episode is about like 50 minutes to an hour long. So that's like 22 hours, and like half of the episodes, like more than half of it, like since episode maybe 5 to episode 21 were just in 2009. That's how like condensed this is. That's how much content there is in this. And I've watched every single one. I'm thinking about rewatching it because it's that good and that insane. Wow. And there's like too much to talk about with it. It's crazy.
There was a lot of horror podcasts I listened to for a while after listening to Dr. Death one.
Horror podcasts?
Horror, man.
Whoa!
Dude. There was, they're called like Creepy. Like, I think that's what they call the show, Creepy.
Mm-hmm.
But there's these little segments, and the voicing on it is just so well made. The narrating, and they had like all the atmospheric sounds and stuff to it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just so many wild stories you'd hear. Like, there's one about this.
Are they true stories?
Some of them are like based on true stories, and some of them are just like fiction stories some person wrote. But it's wild. Check it out sometime. It's pretty sure it's called Creepy. It's on Spotify.
My favorite podcast was called Fear, and it sounds like that, but it's like true horror stories that people like really experienced, and it's them saying it like their most feared thing that ever happened to them, and it's really, really good. But they stopped making it. But like, there's like 22 episodes, and like there's at least 5 that will probably change your life forever.
Wow.
Well, there's like one that's like about this lady like that worked at a store that got robbed, and like a guy got stabbed, and it's like she's telling it from her perspective, so it's like super legit and intense, and it's like, whoa, this is really good. But they stopped making it, so. And I don't know why. He doesn't have a social media or anything.
This podcast is called Recommend. Just like we recommend things to you.
I know, right? I'm glad you told me about that Dr. Death one. I want to listen to that.
Oh yeah, it's really good. I can't wait to see what they do to make a live action show out of it. I guess it's gonna be cool. But I think it's just crazy that stuff's actually happened. Like, especially this recent. It sounded like something that would have happened back in the like 39s. Like,
that's what I assumed it was.
Like late 40s or something, early 40s. You know, it sounds something really old. No, it happened really recent. It's just insane that it happened that recent. Like, the fact that he paralyzed his best friend. Ooh, there's some crazy stories.
Spoilers. Hello.
Hey, no, it's spiking your interest now.
I'm already spiked. I'm like ready to grab my phone so I can like pull it up.
Go check it out. Yeah. I enjoyed doing this again. It's been great. I really enjoyed doing it again. Talking about some of the things we've actually been interested in.
Yeah, it's
like things that's going on in our life.
Kind of like therapy.
It is kind of like therapy. You know, sometimes just sit next in front of your camera and start talking to it. Maybe it'll talk back.
Yeah, you don't look crazy at all.
What'd you say? Oh. They need to subscribe to this channel?
What? Subscribe?
Subscribe? What? You crazy?
They need to
like,
donate to us and give us free money.
Wait, do they also need to like and comment on the video?
Yeah, and the comments have to be like nice and respectful and don't have cuss words so we don't get demonetized.
We're monetized?
We will be after we get all these fans.
Oh yeah, true. Just like oh. But oh, there we go. Gotta add the little boys in there. I want him to be dyed my color.
No, don't set that on the mic. Are you crazy? Everyone's gonna hear it.
All right. But it's been a great podcast. I'm enjoying doing this again, for sure.
Me
We
too.
definitely need to get around to doing this again, but not at the pace of we were doing it before. It's going to be bi-weekly. We're going to talk about things we want to talk about. If you want to listen, listen.
Yeah, if it's popping, we'll do it weekly. But
yeah. If it gets popping, we'll do it weekly. But it's just going to be pertaining things we really want to talk about, because if not, we're not going to be enjoying ourselves. We're not going to be like, we're going to enjoy it, but at the same time, we're not going to enjoy it to an extent as much as like we enjoy about talking just about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we were just sticking to our old formula, you would never known about Dr. Death, or you would never known about any of these wild TV shows, or you've never known about
you would
This
never
Is
known
Us.
about Chris
Check
Pratt.
out This Is Us. It's really good. Yeah, check out that show. Trust me. If you want good writing, you want some good feels, you want the feels, you want to be... I tell you what, watching that show makes you want to be a better person. Not
listening to Dr. Death?
No. This Is Us. Dr. Death makes you want to be a better person. No,
Well, I mean,
watching This Is Us makes you feel like you want to be a better person while watching it. I'm not kidding. The show, like, there's all the characters are so good and so nice, and there's so many things they're trying to do and accomplish, and it just makes you feel like you want to be a better person.
Heck yeah. I definitely will check that out, too.
And Dr. Death makes you want to be a better person. I'm kidding.
I mean, it could make you feel bad. I feel like watching the Chris documentaries made me, like, realize, like, maybe what I'm doing is, like, toxic and I need to stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, it makes you... The Chris stuff makes you reflect on your life. It's intense.
Yeah.
Check it out if you can invest 22 hours in YouTube videos.
Yeah. Eventually. I mean, I watched Bommy for a year.
What's Bommy?
He's a Dota 2 YouTuber, and he played Dota 2 and uploaded two videos a day for years. Like, I watched every single video he released for a year.
That's
2
crazy.
videos a day.
I used to
They were
do
2
that
hours
with Game
long.
Grumps. I used to watch them every day.
They were 2 hours long, both videos together.
What? For real?
Yeah, 2 hours. Like, each video was an hour long,
Sheesh.
because it was like Dota 2 games. Dota 2 games take forever.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched every single video for
That's
like a year.
crazy.
It's because I was that upset. When I'm into something, I'm into it hard. Like, I'm into it really hard. Like, you don't know how much I've been studying Throne of Eldraine.
Mm-hmm.
This new Magic set coming out. It's pre-release this Friday. I've been like hardcore studying it and figuring out every single aspect of it and stuff. And I need to feel that way. I kind of want to feel that way about Smash. Like, I do love Smash. I do enjoy Smash. And after that past tournament, I want to put more time into it.
That's good.
But
I feel that every time I go, just like,
I can do so much better. I can do better. Do better than this. I know I got the potential.
exactly.
Yeah. But
Well,
I think we need to get wrapping up eventually, maybe. I don't know. We'll go on for another 2 hours. Just like...
I'm not sure I don't have anything else to talk about.
No. We'll have more to talk about in the next current weeks. Talk about other things we got going on. I don't know what else I could recommend. If you haven't watched It Chapter 2, watch it already. That's it.
Really? You'd recommend it Chapter 2?
It was really good.
You think so? I
Yeah.
watched it.
You watched it?
Yeah.
What'd you not like about it? Was the opening scene?
No.
It's pretty graphic. The opening
There
scene.
wasn't anything I didn't like about it. It was just like it didn't really like
Didn't really jump
blow
out.
me away. I mean, I did like that each character got like a super crazy like
Spoiler alert.
spooky, like
I really
thing
enjoyed it.
on him.
I thought Bill Hader's performance was like the biggest standout.
I did think it was a little too long though.
It
Near
was.
the end, I was like, all right, I'm ready to go.
Oh yeah, it was pretty long. I feel like Bill Hader's performance was the biggest standout.
Which one was that? Was that the comedian?
It was Richie. It was the comedian one. Yeah.
Yeah. He was really good.
Yeah.
He like was too good. He was like the most. He was so memorable. It made me forget about everyone else.
Yeah. That's the main reason why I'm even recommending it, because I really like the actor. He's been in stuff. He's been super bad. He's been in Hot Rod. He has his own show now called Barry. I hadn't watched it yet, but I want to watch it. But he's such a talented actor, and I felt like he just absolutely nailed the role.
He did really good. He did too good, actually. Dude, what about the end when he's like, when it's like super subtly like showing you that he was in love with that guy that. Oh wait a minute, it's a spoiler.
Can't talk about it.
Oh well. Like, what did you think about like the end? Like, where apparently he was in love with the guy that died. Like he was like had he was like maybe bi or something with that.
He was really torn up about it. He was really emotional. Yeah, it's like his story arc was like some of the best arc overall.
I thought it was
all their story. Like,
I thought it was really weird that like apparently he was like in love with him, but it was like never brought up or anything until the very end when he's carving his name into the thing.
It was kind of sudden. Like they didn't really imply it too much, but the way I watched it twice, and the way I kind of
watched it twice.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
The way I interpreted it, like, you know, when you're a kid and you would kind of pick on somebody you like, you know, there's always a thing where like the guy would pick on the girl he really liked and stuff, or the girl would pick on the guy they really liked. That's how it was for them as when they were kids.
Yeah, for sure.
He would always pick on them.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that's just like how they were when kids. And they didn't think about each other because, you know, what happened in the story, we can't talk about it.
Well, we already spoiled it.
We hadn't spoiled that much. We only spoiled briefly.
I don't know. We spoiled quite a lot.
I put a huge spoiler warning in front of all this here.
Maybe we should like somehow do that.
Yeah, huge spoiler warning. Far ahead, Wesley. Right before we start talking about it too.
Yeah, I mean, like
okay.
I spilled pretty much the biggest deets.
Yeah. Okay, so since I watched it twice and stuff, his you know, since they left Derry and stuff, they don't remember what happened in Derry. Mm-hmm. So they kind of forgot about each other. Mm-hmm. They didn't really remember each other, so they heard each other's voices and started talking on the phone again. Mm-hmm. And seeing each other in person. Mm-hmm. So he kind of brought back everything back up again, how he actually felt about him and stuff. Mm-hmm. And because he's been a depressed comic for years and years and years. He's been like alcoholic, drinking, and just like not really satisfied because he's been pretty lonely.
No, he has a wife.
He has a wife, but he still feels lonely. I mean, look at him. He was like a mess. Even when he was doing a stand up, he was a mess. Yeah. Because he had part of his life that felt messy. Mm-hmm. And then he finally found it near the end, like realizing it was him, but then he was gone. Mm-hmm. So there was like a lot of layers to it. But
I can see where you're coming from. Now that you explained it to me like that, I can definitely see like.
I felt his character was definitely like the biggest aspect, the selling point of the movie was how well
he was the best character.
Did. Like, I didn't care.
I don't know, dude. Stephen King was pretty badass.
It was funny. Stephen King was
tried to act as the movie or as the antique salesman. Spoiler.
Billy, you know, the guy that played adult Billy, James McAvoy. Well, James McAvoy, I'm pretty sure. However you pronounce his name. Pretty sure it's McAvoy. He has done like really tremendous work in a lot of movies. I feel like he did okay in this movie. I just feel like Bill Hader overshined everybody.
Literally everyone.
Like his performance stood out just so much. And I've been seeing McAvoy get in a lot more roles. Like he got the roles as Xavier over the years in the X-Men series. Mm-hmm. And I feel like his roles there wasn't really too great. But he got to really shine in Split, in Glass. Have you seen Split? Go watch Split. Then watch Glass. They're part of a trilogy y'all need to watch. I won't mention the first one technically because the first one will just spoil the big reveal. If you hadn't seen it,
can you watch them in any order?
You can watch them in any order. You can watch Split, and then you can watch Glass, and then you can watch the first one, or you can watch them in cinematic order. But if you know the first one, then you know what happens in Split. It's weird. It's because M. Night Shyamalan directed it. That's why.
That's That's cool. Wait, are they movies or is it a show?
They're movies. There are 3 movies he released over the course of span of time. But his character had 27 different personalities in Split.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking.
And he constantly switched like.
From was the first one Life of Pi? Did he make that? M. Night Shyamalan?
No, he did not make Life of Pi.
Are you leaving because you're so upset?
I'm angry. I got to unveil something to you, Drew.
Oh, it's a dude. You got him for $9.
It's Hedwig from Split. Like, this is James McAvoy when he played as Hedwig. So in Split,
the first one's Avatar.
What?
Because M. Night Shyamalan did that movie too.
He did make Avatar. It's bad. No. Okay, it's Unbreakable. Go look up Unbreakable. It's Bruce Willis movie.
What the heck? You spoiled it.
They spoil it anyways. It's not really missing anything. I actually knew about it before even watching Split.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but there's a bunch of different personalities he has, and he flip flops between them, and he can do it like seamlessly.
Mm-hmm.
He acts like this prim proper woman, like this clean freak, and then he acts like this kid, and like it's pretty wild. I got like 1 billion pop figures. Yeah, put him up there. Put Hedwig up there. Show all my tabs. Just like...
Oh, you got Tabletop Simulator going?
Do I?
Yep, right there.
Oh no, that's just Chrome. All right, I think we're good.
All right, we're gonna do our outro now.
Yeah, we do outro? I feel like I can talk for another hour, but outro. Let's do it.
Our outro is we just walk out of the room.
Yeah. See you guys later.
Follow us on BadFellas and West. What's your tag on? Is it just?
It's He-Man on YouTube, bro. Just check it out.
The door doesn't open. And follow me, The Flying Tacos. This has been BadFellas, the most badass podcast ever.
Oh man, we've been revitalized, bro. We got to be renewed for another season. And
we're back.
What's up, guys? Scare's here.
This is the next episode of the podcast.